Terrific night in downtown Phoenix. Welcome to Game 4 of the World Series. We're at Chase Field where the Texas Rangers took a 2-1 series lead last night. Took this crowd out of the game early. They're revved up again, though, and set for Game 4. Come on inside. And we say welcome inside the broadcast booth. John Smoltz, the Hall of Famer. I'm Joe Davis. Well, for a lot of the season, the bullpens for these two teams were problems. That's not the case anymore, though. And as we line up for dueling bullpen games here in Game 4, both these teams feel like they have a good shot to win.
Yeah, the timing couldn't be better for, you think about the Texas Rangers. The regular season wasn't great. The bulk of their bullpen blew a lot of games. Well, they're going to need that bullpen to move on in the series. And what better timing for them when they have the winning situation. The winning formula has been outstanding for Bruce Bochy. They feel good if they can get out to an early lead and use high leverage guys. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, their timing has been great because the last 2 months has been outstanding, and that's what they're going to rely on. This is going to be their game they had earlier in the postseason. They had a win in this exact same situation.
It, John, doesn't matter how well they pitch if they don't get more offense than they did last night, and it all starts with their superstar player, Corbin Carroll.
Yeah, the top of the orders are real important for both teams, but really for Arizona, it's super important. You're talking about the Rookie of the Year. When they win, he's doing something special, and when they're not, it's been a hard go for him, really. So for the Diamondbacks to make this a 2-2 series, look for Carroll early in the game to do something special.
Hey, who says you have to choose between baseball and Halloween, huh? Hey, found him! What a day to be alive. We got Halloween, we got Game 4 of the World Series on Fox. That dude is everywhere, I swear.
Saw me in the bathroom, numbers in the bed. Kiss a kiss, makeup is hosted the bed. I felt the missing bones, a golden night dread with the left. No way, some goes jogging on lazy road, out of the lane. Get dirty up on the gas, alright. No way, I had you down for the gas, pajamas,
This time of the year, only the extraordinary can be named in the same breath as Mr. October. Reserved for when the player meets the moment on the game's biggest stage.
That ball is gone!
And everybody's going to try to be a hero.
Who will create their own legacy?
And the legend grows!
Game 4 of the World Series, next.
And we are all set. Welcome to the 2023 World Series on Fox, presented by Capital One. That was Bad Bunny bringing us back and getting us set for Game 4. His new album is out. Mr. October on that album. Fitting to get us going for Game 4. There is some big news in for it. Here's Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Major news indeed. Adolis Garcia out for the rest of the series, as is Max Scherzer. Garcia took a couple of swings in the batting cage today and immediately shut it down. Obviously, losing a player who has hit 8 homers this postseason and driven in a record 22 runs is a huge blow, and the Rangers had an emotional hitters meeting before today's game. Offensive coordinator Donnie Eckert told the players, "This only adds to our purpose. The more obstacles, the more meaning." Garcia also spoke, telling his teammates, "I'm with you, finish the job." Now, over to Tom Verducci.
Well, thanks, Ken. The World Series spotlight, it can be harsh. It can bring out the best in a player. Pick a big moment, any big moment in this World Series, and chances are Corey Seager is right in the middle of it. Game-tying home run in game number 1, check. Game-breaking home run in game number 3, check. Game-saving defensive play in game 3, check again. Corey Seager has hit more World Series home runs than any shortstop. Ask Bruce Bochy why he steps up in these big moments, and he says, because his game awareness is off the charts. What will he do next? Joe.
All right, guys, and yeah, the two guys that they chose to lead them back, Marcus Semien and Corey Seager at the top of the order, and they drove in all 3 runs in Game 3 last night. Now, with Garcia out, there's obviously some changes. Mitch Garver moves up and bats third. Carter stays in the cleanup spot. Josh Young hit 5th for most of the season. This is the highest, though, that he's hit in the order this postseason. Lowe's the 6th hitter. Jonah Heim still looking for his first hit of the Fall Classic. Bat 7th does the catching with Tavares in center. And Travis Jankowski makes his World Series debut in right field in place of Garcia. Tonight's FanDuel Live same-game parlay. Evan Carter has reached in all 15 games in this postseason. He has just 1 home run, though. Geraldo Perdomo has done some good things out of the bottom of the order for Arizona. So, John, the first of what will be many pitchers for the Diamondbacks in this game, 32-year-old Joe Mantiply.
Yeah, when you start a postseason game, you think about how many innings are you going to go. Tonight is going to be about how many batters do you face. And really, there won't be anybody in the Diamondbacks more than likely that will face 6 batters. So when you come in the game, you've got to be on your game and you got to get 3 batters out. That's what each pitcher is going to try to do. And I think tonight is a battle of the 3rd and the 2/3. Who wins the 3rd, the first 3 innings, and who's leading after the 2nd third, which is the 4th, 5, and 6th innings, will have a leg up and winning this game.
Arizona was in this same exact situation in the National League Championship Series, down 2-1 with a bullpen game lined up. They won that game, came back to win the series. They find themselves down again, while Texas is now 2 wins from its first World Championship. Off we go with strike 1 on Marcus Semien. So Semien, after knocking in 100 during the regular season, had his first RBI in 11 games last night to open the scoring. Rangers got 3 runs in the 3rd. That's all they'd need. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Mantiply has been really tough on left-handers. Right-handers have kind of had their way a little bit. High batting average on low fastballs. But again, he's only in there really to face 3 batters and get 3 outs.
At a 1-2-3 7th inning in game 1 of this World Series. No earned runs in 7 of 8 games that he's pitched in this postseason. Out of Danville, Virginia. A lot of years of just trying to hang on in the major leagues. Finally did at the age of 30 a couple years back. He had his breakout year last year. He was an all-star, but he was bad for a lot of this year. Injury after injury, to the point where Joe started wondering, man, am I about to get released? But he found it late and a key role in this postseason.
Well, one thing he does extremely well, and you don't want to always be behind an account to throw a ton of strikes, but he has a high percentage of strikes when he's behind in the count. So 3-1, 3-2, throwing strikes.
Home with a full count pitch and a pop up from Semien. That is out of play. Yeah, we'll do the full count pitch again. Umpires tonight, David Rackley calls balls and strikes. Alfonso Marquez, big part of the conversation in the 9th inning last night with 2 missed calls in the Gabby Moreno at bat that evened themselves out. Still was not a good look in that big moment. Another payoff pitch, and Semien sends another foul. So these teams split the 2 games in Arlington. 3-1 Rangers last night. The bullpen again making things hold up for Bruce Bochy. 6 innings, just 1 run. On the 8th pitch, Semien grounds one left side. Perdomo with a backhand play. The defense in this Fall Classic sparkling on both sides.
Yeah, the defense has been outstanding. Really some clutch plays and key moments. Perdomo, good arm and a good start. After falling behind 3-1, he threw nothing but strikes after that pitch.
John, I got to talk fast. Seager is probably swinging right away, right?
Yeah, 3.13 pitches per at bat against left-handers.
Swings at the first pitch, drives one to left center field. Gurriel's there. And it sometimes comes with that. It's a very quick out and 2 gone in the first. So here comes Mitch Garver, who has hit 3rd in this postseason 3 different times. And in those 3 games, he's knocked in 7, including a grand slam in the division series.
Normally he takes the first pitch. But again, that's facing a starter that he knows he's going to see again.
Swings away first pitch here.
When you're going to face guys for 1 and only, you throw away the book and you try to take advantage of whatever that guy you're facing at that moment. When he swung at a first pitch changeup.
See what he gets on the 2nd pitch. It is another change. Takes this one for a ball. And these can be challenging on hitters. You're going to see a different guy every time you come up these bullpen games. On a 1-1 pitch. First swings and misses. 1-2.
Well, I'm talking with Terry Lavello. He said, man, I love this kind of game every once in a while. It's like a chess match. I get to make moves based on what I see and the information at hand. Well, it's only going to be fun if each one of your guys do their job, and that's what each manager's hoping happens tonight.
And apply, trying to get it off and rolling. 1-2-3 inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Mitch Garver, and he literally has a script. Torey Lovullo does, and he still has a script from Game 4 of the championship series when it went almost to perfection, and he plans to frame that at the end of this season as an example of all the departments coming together, game planning. From the game planning department to the pitching staff to the the pitching coach and Brent Strom, all having this script and then having it work. He's hoping he's got another one to frame with his script tonight. Another 1-2 pitch. Torey says these kinds of games just kind of line up with the way his mind works. Challenge of a chess match. Trying to make the right moves, tested each inning.
Well, Mantiply will have one more hitter, and that's it. And that's Carter on deck. And he would love to get Garver right here.
Payoff pitch. Garver sends it foul. He saw Miguel Castro's already ready to go down there. That'd be for Josh Young in the 5 spot. And this is a bullpen that has been one of the best in baseball the last couple months. So well equipped to handle the game like this. Garver takes a 2-out walk. Let's see the defense. We have a different guy on the mound each inning, but this will remain pretty much unchanged throughout the day. Speed in that outfield. We've seen it show up a few times in this World Series. Already a nice play by Perdomo at short. Marte and a Gold Glover and Walker over at first. Moreno is a Gold Glove finalist at catcher. So the walk to Garver gets Carter to the plate. And a spinner in there for strike 1 on the unflinching rookie Evan Carter, who has reached in all 15 games this postseason.
Carter more than likely going to see everyday action next year, so this limited use against left-handers will end this year.
On this 0-1, Carter takes strike 2. Only 1 hit against a left-handed pitcher in this postseason. Man applies 0-2. Fly ball center field. No big deal for Alec Thomas. Scored his first inning for Manaply. Lineup with the left-hander on the mound. It's Marte to lead off, and then Carroll hitting second. Trying to get Gabriel Moreno going again. Just 1 for 13 in this World Series. Christian Walker bats cleanup. Then it's Pham, who has been a man on a mission. Gurriel bats 6th. Thomas, Rivera, and Perdomo. Rivera's first start of this World Series. The pitcher profile is sponsored by Google Pixel. It is Andrew Heaney, who they signed as a starter, which he was for most of the season. Moved into the bullpen at the start of September and has worked in both roles so far this postseason. What can we expect from him tonight?
Well, hopefully he can give him 3 to 4 innings. But the big key is going to be his fastball command on the inside part of the plate. He likes to throw fastballs in. He's got a lower 3/4 delivery. He'll change speeds. There's the mixed pitch. But he's just funky enough to get hitters off balance. And really what Bruce Bochy's going to do is watch and see how this game goes, because being up 2-1 gives him the leverage of how he can use his bullpen. There is no leverage for Torey Lovullo. He is going to use his guys no matter really what the score is, short of a blowout.
Got to go get it. Yeah, Bochy's going to see how this is. Reach that middle third of the game like you were talking about. Reevaluate. Well, another day, another hit for Ketel Marte, whose hitting streak is now 20 in the postseason, the best ever.
Well, he's doing this a lot. You see the second baseman up the middle, but he pulls it to the left side of second base. Best way to hit the ball is up the middle, and he has been outstanding in the postseason. Now for Corbin Carroll, I think this is a really big at bat and the momentum of the Diamondbacks for this game.
Strike one. I mean, we talked about it off of the top, John. This is it. 342 with 9 runs scored in the wins. 158, just 1 run scored in the losses. And I hate to pin too much on one guy, but this is what he signed up for. The long-term contract. Runaway Rookie of the Year. The stats point out the importance in this postseason. 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday after he had 2 hits in the 9-run outburst in Game 2. Arizona went from scoring 9 runs in Game 2 to just 1 run yesterday.
Well, he's been so dominant against right-handed pitchers, has Corbin Carroll. The extra base hits are really cut down against left-handed pitchers, and he kind of hangs in there and wants to make contact.
He's ahead of him 0-2. Couple looks over to first, comes, oh man, and just misses.
That was a great pitch right there. I mean, that is pain on the corner, and I almost guarantee if he throws it again there, that'd be hard to call it a ball twice.
Arizona's saying we got a couple coming our way after the call in the 9th inning last night. That's a strikeout of Carroll for the first out.
The old hanging changeup. That's not where you want to throw it, but it's hard to hit. It's like the hanging or backup slider from a pitcher. The hitter's anticipating it to do something totally different, and it just stays there in your eyesight. You rarely see a changeup thrown that high, and it worked.
Got to see it on our cam, presented by T-Mobile. Here's Moreno, who hit a home run to open the scoring in Game 2, and he's probably saying, okay, now I get the call, because Moreno was at the plate leading off the 9th inning last night. He thought he had gotten ball 4, which would have brought the tying run to the plate. It was called a strike, only to have him ground out to short just after that. Down the line, foul.
And Moreno loves hitting against left-handed hitters, or left-handed pitchers, and certainly what they've done to him in the postseason when they've had success, they pound him in and he hits a lot of ground balls. But when he gets a ball that's not in, out over the plate, you see what he does, the damage he can do. And one of the best hitters for the Diamondbacks down the stretch of the season.
Marte at first, 1 gone, score this first inning. That is a strike over the outside corner. And it's a pitcher here, John Heaney, that loves to come inside.
He does. He doesn't pound a lot of fastballs for strikes, but he wants the hitter to go after it. So he gives the illusion that it's going to be a strike and just pitches it in off the plate.
Target set in for this 1-2 pitch. After throw over. Arizona did not attempt to steal yesterday after they had 5 stolen bases over the first 2 games. They just simply didn't have many chances. Very limited traffic.
Well, he had to step off. That clock was going down, so now that's 2 disengagements in this at bat with Marte at first.
He can run a little bit, see if he pushes it now, knowing that another throw over there would have to get him. He's not going, and Moreno fouls it off. We talk about Carroll, got to get him going. He's done it in the wins. Gabriel Moreno 1 for 13 in this World Series. And, you know, during the regular season, it's just a few days stretch where he's not getting the hits. Everything though magnified this time of year. And the 23-year-old sends another foul.
Yeah, from both. It's interesting. I mean, only Game 4, right? But both catchers combined have gone 1 for 24 or 1 for 23. So the catching position at this time of the year, when you're catching every single game, it takes a special human to catch this many games and still be locked in at the plate offensively.
Swings through it. Back-to-back Ks for Heaney, getting both Carroll and Moreno. Defense behind Andrew Heaney. Jankowski takes over for Garcia in right field. He is a good defensive right fielder. Young and Seager left side of the infield. Simeon and Lowe on the right, and Jonah Heim doing the catching. There's Travis Jankowski. Doesn't have quite the arm that Garcia has, but great speed over there. 2 gone, and they give Christian Walker another encouraging hand. He finally had his moment with the leadoff double in the 2nd inning yesterday, but it would be extremely short-lived. 2 pitches later, he ran through the stop time, was thrown out at home, and the game changed. On this 1-0 pitch, Walker fouls it off.
Well, he's certainly comfortable from the slugging percentage against left-handed pitcher. He's got a high slugging percentage, and he loves facing the left-handed pitcher. And they think that the last 5 to 6 at-bats have been so encouraging. Even if some have not resulted in hits, he's hitting them hard again.
Marte started his first with a single. He's still over there. There he goes on a 1-1 pitch that's high. Heim's throw is in time, and the inning is over. First runner that's caught by Jonah Heim in this series brings a close to this first. We are off and running in game 4. No score here in Phoenix. Text predict to 5-9-5-9-5-9 by the start of the 3rd inning for a chance to up your game. Now, the first little surprise in this night that's probably going to be full of them is Joe Manaply stays on to face Josh Young. After a scoreless first inning, comes home and gets strike 1.
Well, that might be with you got Lowe, and then maybe turn Heim around and let him bat left-handed, where he's kind of struggled lately.
Manaply has not gotten more than 4 outs in any of his games in this postseason. Looking for a 4th right here against Josh Young, who finds himself hitting 5th for the first time this October. This is where he hit for a lot of the regular season, but moves up with the trickle down of the Garcia injury. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He does like breaking balls against left-handed pitchers.
Fastball's upstairs, and it's 2-2.
Second best in all of baseball on those pitches against left-handed pitchers in the slug department, and that's why they went fastball up. You see the numbers.
On his way to an all-star rookie season on this 2-2 pitch. Young drives the ball to right center field. That's down and bounces through the gap all the way to the wall. Josh Young headed for second. He'll stop there with a leadoff double. First base hit of the game for the Rangers is a double from the rookie Young.
Well, this guy is so good when he stays right center, staying on the pitch and doing an incredible job driving the ball in that gap. So much room in this outfield, and a level swing, not trying to pull it and going where it was pitched. Now it's essential for Lowe to get him over somehow, some way. Ground ball to the right side.
Chases strike 1.
It'll be a big challenge for Lowe because he has been neutralized by left-handers. That's part of the reason why Manaply is still in. Only hitting .223 against left-handers on the year.
Shown some signs lately, though, maybe coming out of what was a long slump, September through a lot of October. Started the 3-run rally yesterday with a double. On this 0-1, Lowe grounds it foul, and it's 0-2.
You could tell he was trying to definitely hook that breaking ball that stayed up in the zone.
This Rangers offense that scored just 4 runs over the last 2 games. And I'm looking for somebody to deliver with Garcia out. Young at second. 0-2 to the plate. Got him swinging. A strikeout that Manaply was looking for.
3 straight breaking balls, and they were outstanding, and that was going to be the tough challenge for Lowe.
Unable to advance the runner from second, and Joe Manaply gives him 1+. 1 1/3, runner at second, his responsibility, and the bullpen door swings open. Get those hinges ready, get him greased. A commitment to the fight against cancer. Visit standuptocancer.org to find out how you can help today. We had our first pitches tonight from cancer survivors, Maddox Carmian and Amy Gibbons. No score, second inning. Miguel Castro's on to pitch. Jonah Heim's the hitter. Young at second, 1 away, and ball 1.
Well, Heim has been really good with runners in scoring position, especially the power. So something clicks in when he gets there, but he's been struggling with the fastball up and the slider. You get a pitch in the middle part of the plate, though, he has been able to hammer it.
Change up there, 2-0.
Some hitters just have the ability to lock in when a runner's in scoring position. Maybe they look differently with pitches and how their pitchers are going to face them, but on the year, really good numbers with runners in scoring position.
For the all-star catcher, on this 2-0 pitch, Heim takes a perfect fastball for a strike, and he has gotten just attacked with pretty much only fastballs. I know you said the slider's given him issues too, but especially in this World Series, 75% of the pitches that he's seeing, heaters.
And a lot of them up. That's the pitch that gives them fits, up on top of the strike zone.
Miguel Castro, his 3rd outing in 4 games in this World Series, gave up the walk-off home run to Garcia in game 1. And then pitched in yesterday's game. Let's go of a 2-2, and that drifts outside. Count is full on Heim. Now both these teams unbeaten in this postseason when scoring first. Rangers trying to take advantage of Young's double. Here's a 3-2. There's a chopper to second from Marte. So Young to third, and here comes Leody Taveras. It was really good in the wild card round in the division series, cooled off a little bit in the championship series, and is now 0 for his last 16.
Mention it each time. He's been struggling against the changeup.
That's what he sees first pitch, but not close.
I almost wonder, people probably go, well, why can't someone go up there and just sit on a changeup? Well, and then you get fastball and you get beat, and the hitter doesn't want to get beat with a fastball.
Slider in there for a strike, 1-1. Castro 6'7", 200 pounds. 28 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. In his first season here with the Diamondbacks. In his first World Series, home of the 1-1 pitch. That's a change that Taveras lays off.
That's a good sign if you're Bruce Bochy. You've seen his hitter be in between and swing and miss a lot at that pitch, and he took one on a really nasty location.
On this 2-1, Taveras took a fastball strike. Got the call in the outside corner. It evens 2-2. Time taken. Castro and the Diamondbacks trying to pitch around the leadoff double. Golden chance for these Rangers, who have been very home run reliant throughout this season, doubling down on that in this postseason. On a 2-2, Taveras takes a change in the dirt, kicks away, play at the plate won't happen. Young's in to score. Rangers strike first in game 4.
The only way that Young scores on that play is you've got to be thinking ahead of time. If the ball's in the dirt, watch his secondary lead going right now. Once he saw the ball get past Moreno, you go, and he was able to score.
Gabriel Moreno, who is one of the best in baseball, blocking balls in the dirt, couldn't keep that one close and then couldn't pick it cleanly to give a throw to the plate. 3-2 to Taveras is ball 4. So the Rangers are on the board. A leadoff double, productive out, and then a wild pitch. Now runs charged to Manaply.
When you throw a changeup, see how it hits the front of the plate and skips in the wrong direction. He literally was in pretty good position to block that, but right in front of the plate, it hit his chest protector.
Travis Jankowski making his World Series debut here. So Adolis Garcia, as Kenny told us off at the top, is finished for the World Series. He's taken off of the roster with that oblique injury last night. The Rangers lose their hitter who's on a record-setting tear, and he turned to this 32-year-old journeyman who hits it hard through the middle into center field for a base hit. Travis Jankowski getting his chance and taking advantage.
He's a high contact guy, not a ton of power, but when he hits it, he can utilize his speed. And this one he hits right off the end of the bat, up the middle, and gets rewarded. Well, it's this spot, Joe, where 2 outs and no runs in, that Semien got a huge hit yesterday that the next batter on deck hit the 2-run homer, and that was enough for the Rangers.
First one comes home. Semien chops it foul. They got all kinds of speed out there right now if he can put a ball in the gap. Taveras and Jankowski. Kyle Nelson's ready. Semien lays off. Rangers take advantage of Young's leadoff double. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Tremendous arm action on this changeup. That thing comes out like a fastball and disappears at the bottom part of the zone. Hitter cannot recognize that arm action.
2 on, 2 out. A 1-2 pitch. Semien pulls one down the line, hooking fair into the corner. Taveras in to score. Jankowski in as well as it kicks away. Semien's on his way to third. He's in there. Marcus Semien for the second game in a row comes through, and it's 3-0 Texas.
Slider hung on the plate, and this one barely inside the line. Semien starting to heat up. They're going to need guys to pick up the slack for Garcia being gone. Jankowski can flat out fly.
Well, one of the risks you run in a bullpen game is that you just don't know the next guy that comes in. Are they going to have it or are they not? And tonight, Miguel Castro did not.
I know, and it's the patience that you need in a game like this, because offensively, the Diamondbacks are going to have to score, obviously, a lot of runs at this point.
That is officially ruled a triple for Marcus Semien. A 2-run triple and a 3-0 lead for Texas within 2 wins of their first World Championship. And some unsung guys in this inning. Taveras and Jankowski at the bottom of the order reach and set the table for Semien to knock in 2 more. Great run producers in the American League. He was 2 out of 16 with runners in scoring position coming into the World Series. He is 2 for 2 in those situations over the last couple nights, and it's 3-0 Texas as Kyle Nelson comes in.
Kyle Nelson's going to throw a lot of breaking balls, but listen, the Texas Rangers have gotten all their runs with 2 outs. I mean, that is back-breaking stuff in the postseason. And so far, they have a 3-0 lead. I talked about the first third of the game. Right now, Texas is owning the first third of the game.
Now Seager to right center field, way back there, and gone again. Corey Seager does it again. His third hit of this World Series is his third home run of this World Series. Five to nothing Texas.
So here's the deal that, you know, when these games are played, we talked about no one's going to face a reliever more than once, right? But you're going to see a reliever more than once in these games. The more the hitters see the relievers in a series, the better it gets for the hitters. And so this to play out, obviously nowhere close to this game being over. The more the Rangers get to see the bullpen from the Diamondbacks and vice versa, hitters get the advantage.
Carver with a chopper to third. Long throw coming for Rivera. Snaps it off and gets it. It was a 3-spot in the third yesterday. It is a 5-spot in the second today. And the two big ticket items, the two guys that were to guide these Rangers back into contention, deliver here. 2-run triple for Marcus Semien. One batter later, Corey Seager's got another 2-run home run. Second inning and score 5 runs, although perhaps some concern. It looked off on that home run trot from Corey Seager, as Christian Walker leads off his second and takes a strike. And we look close. We got so many great shots from our wonderful cameraman here, and he was wincing on his way around the bases.
Yeah, it looked like he got his ankle caught or tweaked his ankle a little bit. Oh. But good news for him, he didn't have to run full bore.
That's true.
He crushed it and got to jog and winced a little bit coming around third. But wow, what a postseason stud he has been.
His 4th home run in his last 5 games. Tom detailed, you know, these are not empty home runs. He had the tone setter in Game 7 of the championship series in the first inning. He had the game saver in Game 1 of the World Series. And then last night, difference-making homer, a 3-1 win. Had a great defensive play as well. He's got an easy defensive play here. And then this home run in the second. Here's the swing.
Yeah, it just looks like he gets a little awkward, right? See how he rolls his ankles, well, both of them, and then gets going. But you're going to see when he rounds the base, a little bit of a wince.
Tommy Pham takes high from Heaney. Again, if you happen to just tune in, Texas is already going to be without Adolis Garcia for the remainder of this World Series with the oblique injury that he suffered last night. All right. A ball and strike on Pham. And those are the two guys that have led him here, Adolis and Seager.
And no Max Scherzer. So what that means now in this type of game, Bruce Bochy.
Pop fly, shallow center field. Taveras the call and the catch. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? What are you saying about Bochy?
Whatever game plan he had to start this game, I think it gets altered the more he holds this lead. Because now he knows going up 3-1, he doesn't have to have as many resources for Game 5. So a 5-0 lead changes the script. Everyone's got a script for the game and how they're going to use their pen. All right. And yesterday they had to resource a lot. It was worth it. They won. But look for this game to be the same type of mindset if they're going to book a win past the 6th inning.
Gurriel with 2 away, 1 ball, 1 strike. And of course there is the added layer to this dueling bullpen game scenario, and that Bruce Bochy has been a wizard throughout his career as a pen manager. In fact, in his last 68 games managed in the postseason, the bullpen has suffered a total of 4 losses. 4 losses in 68 games. That's 2 out base hit for Gurriel.
Well, what he knows and what this crowd knows is the Diamondbacks are going to fight and they're going to score some runs. Now, whether or not they get enough in this game, they have a lot of time to do it in. This only being the bottom of the 2nd.
And they've got Alek Thomas coming up here after the base hit from Gurriel. Started this World Series back-to-back multi-hit games, but an 0 for last night. 1 ball, no strikes. Arizona out-hitting Texas, outscoring Texas in this series. But while Texas has had these home runs and game-changing home runs, Arizona's got just 2 solo shots. It may take some slug for them to get back into this one.
Well, because we mentioned, and I talked about, you're expecting everybody to be perfect coming out of the pen. Well, they really have to be perfect now, and they cannot afford to give up hardly any runs to Texas the rest of the way. And that's the pressure you put on a bullpen game. It is what it is. They won this way. It's what they have to do, and then they turn it over to their #1 and #2 starters going into Game 5 and Game 6.
That is Eovaldi and Montgomery for the Texas Rangers. It's Gallen and Kelly for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Runner at first, 2 out, and a 2-1 from Andrew Heaney. Alec Thomas sends one down the line towards the corner. Long run for Carter. Foul ball. Well, here's what's coming up. These guys carried the Rangers, John, through the first few rounds, but gave up 9 runs in the first 2 games against the D-backs.
Yeah, I thought the D-backs approach against those 2 guys were outstanding, so they've got success in their favor, knowing they're going to face them again.
Here comes the 2-2. Good stop by Heim right there. Same time, same place tomorrow for Game 5. Will the Rangers be 1 win away from their first World Championship? Long way to go here in Game 4. Arizona's made a season out of coming back. Gurriel to get a head start from first. There he goes. Here it comes. Thomas again to left field. Carter, easy one. Inning over. Pitch, hit, and run is the free official MLB skills competition for baseball and softball players ages 7 to 14. You can host a local competition, give your kids a chance to make it to the national finals at next year's World Series. Go to pitchhitrun.com. Evan Carter's the hitter, starting this 3rd for the Rangers after they scored 5 times in the 2nd. All right, 1 ball, 1 strike from Kyle Nelson. Rangers trying to stay perfect on the road in this postseason. Set a record with 9 postseason wins on the road. And trying to do something tonight that they've never done in 63 years of the franchise. Regular season, postseason, anytime. Win 10 straight road games.
I mean, there's a lot of things that don't make sense. Mentally, physically, they're providing they're providing a reality check, because it's not supposed to happen this way. Both teams doing things that are atypical.
Chopper to a walker. And Carter's the first out of the 3rd. Especially when you consider the way the regular season finished with them blowing the division, going 2-4 on a road trip. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, it's important to remember that resilience has been one of the Rangers' hallmarks this season. They have dealt with any number of injuries. Jacob deGrom, Tommy John surgery early in the season. Nathan Eovaldi missed more than a month late. Corey Seager twice on the injured list. Mitch Garver out nearly 2 months at the start of the season. Jonah Heim and Josh Young both missed time in the 2nd half. That next man up mentality, it can be a cliche, but for the Rangers, it's a reality.
Kenny talked about how spirited the hitters meeting was before the game as Young adds his 2nd hit and as many times up there. Rallying cry around these injuries, trying to do it again. So they had 5 guys, John, that were in the starting lineup for the American League All-Star team, but 4 of those 5 guys spent time on the injured list in the 2nd half, and that's not even to mention having to go all year without Jacob deGrom, essentially. And what was supposed to be the pillar of this team, the starting pitching, became something that was so ravaged by injuries it was unrecognizable at times. Strike on low.
And it's part of the reason why they would go into those funks, right? When they were healthy and slugging and let's face it, a lot of position players had to finish the game against the Rangers to pitch to them. They were so good. And then they go into a funk and just, you don't think they're going to come out of it, and then they come out of it every time. So a lot of their rally cry is legitimate because they've been there, done that. And they got a good blend of youth with that experience that they went out and got. And of course, the pitching staff has had its injuries as well.
And the dirt, ball and 2 strikes on low. You got the high-priced free agents we've talked about, Simeon and Seager, that have delivered. The homegrown prospects that have arrived at the right time, but then some under-the-radar trades through the years, like with Nathaniel Lowe, who they got from Tampa Bay a couple years back. And for Lowe, he's gone from growing up in Marietta, Georgia, to 3 different colleges. Drafted in the 13th round by Tampa Bay, got to the majors with the Rays, but was a platoon guy until he got traded to Texas. And won a Silver Slugger last year in his first year with him. 2-2. Adolis Garcia, man, if you're anything other than a Diamondbacks fan, it's just horrible that he's out. Full count. Young at first, one away, 3-2 pitch, up the middle, into center field. Base hit, Nathaniel Lowe. 6th hit already for Texas. Already more than they had in last night's win. And now a quick word from Capital One.
We need a clutch hit. Derek Jeter.
Hang in there, rookie.
And that's going to do it for Nelson. So while Manaply was solid, Castro and Nelson both struggling. And it's going to be Luis Frias coming on in this 5-0 game. Already the 4th pitcher for the Diamondbacks. It's Luis Frias, who's pitched well in this postseason. A couple of scoreless outings in the World Series already. Comes home to Jonah Heim, and Heim grounds the first one to Walker. Has a hard time getting it out of his glove, and it's an error on the Gold Glover. Even with all the offensive issues Walker's had of late, that is something that you rarely see. Normally so sure-handed at first.
Yeah, catcher running. He knew he had a good chance for a double play. He tries to get it out of the glove, and then the ball just squirts out of his hand. Backhand, and then the transfer.
That is the first error on either team in this World Series, and they're loaded up for Taveras. Man, so for Walker, you know, the bat for any hitter is going to come and go, but they consider him their best base runner. We know about the base running error last night. And then for the Gold Glove first baseman, an error here. All right. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Fastball, slider, curveball. He's got a good arm, as you can see.
Rangers have a chance to break this thing open. 3rd inning, they lead 5-0. They've got the bases loaded. Leody Taveras, who walked his first time, takes inside for ball 2.
Yeah, that seemed kind of innocent, right? 2 outs, man on second. He works a walk. Then Jankowski gets a base hit after the wild pitch, and then the 2 out runs kept coming with the triple and the home run. So the bottom of the order.
All right. Well, Taveras still doesn't have a hit in this World Series, but he's had some huge walks. Game 1 to set up Seager's home run. A walk to set up the 2-out rally last inning. Frias looking for a strikeout. His 2-2 is pop foul. Frias throws. And the count is full with nowhere to put. Leody Taveras. Two singles and an error, loading the bases for the Rangers. Nightmares so far for Torey Lovullo and the Diamondbacks. The payoff. Got him to chase. Taveras swings at ball 4. 2 out.
The Rangers had not chased outside the zone very often. That was a huge chase. 3-2. A great pitch by Frias. This ball slider back foot. They've only chased, going into that, 5 out of 32 pitches out of the zone. That's the staple of the Texas Rangers offense.
And now Jankowski, who singled in his first World Series at bat, came in to score. It's already 5-0, but Arizona's got to feel like they can capture some good feeling if they can get out of this unscathed. All 5 runs came last inning.
All of them with 2 outs. Yesterday, all with 2 outs.
Here's the 0-1.
Oh, no.
Didn't get the call. David Rackley, who calls fewer strikes at the bottom of the zone than anybody in baseball. We've seen that hold up so far tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. The red usually means it was a strike, but not 100%.
Into center field, Jankowski comes through again. Kicks away from Thomas. 2 runs are in. A 2-run double from the guy getting his shot. Travis Jankowski making his World Series debut in place of the injured Garcia. He's 2 for 2 with 2 runs knocked in.
Tried to make the same pitch on Taveras, but left it up. And Jankowski, I mean, my goodness, sitting around waiting for your chance.
He had 2 at-bats over the last month. And he probably didn't think he was going to get any in this World Series. And then Garcia reaches back, grabs his oblique. And life changed quickly for Jankowski, who's got the Rangers ahead 7-0. And now Simeon crushes a ball back to left field. Gurry out of the wall. Goodbye. It is a rout in Game 4. Marcus Simeon came into the game with 3 RBIs this postseason. He's got 5 in 3 innings tonight. And they do it again with 2 outs. Back-to-back 5-run innings. All 10 runs with 2 out.
I really don't know if I've ever seen this. I'm sure it's happened, because every time I think there's no way in a World Series game the first 10 runs could all come with 2 outs. And then somewhere we'll get, like in 1950 it happened. Yeah. I just never think something like this could happen. And obviously it shocks your system on the other side.
The error from Walker looming large. Seager fouls it off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I mean, there's not too many World Series games where you're going to have 10 runs, period.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and yet alone in the 3rd inning. All with 2 outs, 5 runs, and then again 5 runs by the Rangers when they were dealt the bad news.
Seager down, swinging at the high fastball, and that's that for the Rangers in an instant replay of the 2nd here in the 3rd. Back-to-back 5-run innings. The Rangers are alive, and it's 10-0. Middle 3 in Game 4. Lost their grip. Lost lost the handle in this series, down 2-1 and getting romped in Game 4, 10-0, with back-to-back 5-run innings for Texas.
I know this seems crazy, but I know that the talk in the other dugouts got to be, all right, good at bat. See as many bullpen arms as we can. Put together good at bat after good at bat. Look, they got beat up in Philadelphia. This team will not give up, but you have to put together the most productive bats you can, because there's a lot of heart in that dugout.
And Rivera fouls it off, 1-2.
You know, they lost this way in Philadelphia and they didn't blink, right? Now, granted, you never want to come home and have this moment. Everyone's in shock, but you still have 7 innings to be productive.
Yeah, it was Game 2. They lost 10-0 in Philadelphia. Fall down 2-0. Obviously came back, won that series. They're down 10-0 here. 10 2-out runs. And now you got Heaney, who you've got all kinds of room to be able to, all kinds of wiggle room to be able to push him as far as you want.
You do, and that's why if I'm in the other dugout, I'm going, we got to get this guy out. Let's see who the next guy is. And it flips now for Arizona. They're going to need somebody to eat up some innings. They're going to have to abort their plan on how they were using their bullpen, because the score obviously changes all of that.
Heaney's payoff to Rivera is fouled back. Andrew Heaney got just 2 outs in his last start, Game 4 of the American League Championship Series. So already gotten 2 innings here, and they've put him in the rocking chair with these 10 runs. Ryan Nelson getting loose. He really was the 4th starter, somebody who can cover a bunch. Rivera flexes one into left field, but right to Carter. Baseball fans, your phone upgrade is on deck. Get the freedom to upgrade every year with Go 5G Next and up your game with T-Mobile. One away in the 3rd, and here comes Perdomo.
All right, we struck gold.
What do we got?
First time ever. Team to score the first 10 runs of a World Series game with 2 outs.
In the 119th World Series. Trying to pass Heaney. Seager's there. 2 out. And it's been a good sign to see Seager move around after he was wincing after the home run swing. Appears to be just okay. Well, the Rangers, as they try to get to 10-0 this postseason on the road, have a 10-0 lead in Game 4. And Bruce Bochy inching closer to a 4th championship ring. Strike on Marte. Checked his swing. No, he didn't. It's asked down to first, and it's 0-2. Floats one to right center field. That is going to make him 2 for 2. Extra bases for Ketel Marte. Into second with a double. He's got 2 of their 3 hits.
Still got time for Corbin to get unlocked in this game. He's still facing a left-hander, but little moments again you got to look for. Look, baseball can be cruel. Sports can be cruel. You lose by 1 run. Sometimes that's worse than if you just know you've gotten beat up, right? You can kind of toss this out of your memory, but you still want to fight and you want to do everything you can.
Appeal over to first, seeing if he touched first. No luck.
That would have been the icing on the cake right there. Right? That would have been just
salt in the wound. Diamondbacks trying to get on the board with Caro. Takes high and tight for ball 1.
He's going good, boy. He keeps the bat in the zone with that elbow, and the way that he fires the bat through the zone. They try to
grounds this one to first. Backhand low, race to the bag. Won by Heaney, just barely. Carroll saying, I don't know. They'll certainly take a look over in the Arizona video room. Tortorella is saying, hang on, let's take a look for ourselves.
What a play.
Is out. This Rangers offensive machine is churned to life. They're the first team in World Series history to have 5+ runs in back-to-back innings. And in the last 2 innings, they've matched the total of the rest of the postseason. For all the teams combined, the number of 5-run innings, 2 of them. 3, 4, and 5 coming up here. New pitcher into the game for the Diamondbacks, Ryan Nelson, who was their 4th starter for a lot of this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Guy with a great future, still just 25 years old, but struggled as this year went on. Out of Henderson, Nevada, is 1-1 pitch. Breaks low, ball 2 on Garver.
primarily fastball slider against right-handed batters, but then he's going to mix in his curveball and changeup. The changeup becomes a bigger pitch against left-handed batters.
Second round pick, 2019, out of Oregon, where he went as a pitcher and a shortstop. He only pitched a handful of innings his first 2 years in the minors, and then was the minor league pitcher of the year in 2021, launching him into the top of their prospect rankings. Debuted last September and won the 5th spot in the rotation in spring training. So his first full year here and his World Series debut. This 3-2 to Mitch Garver is cut on and miss. Sunday on Fox, one of the biggest games of the year. Dallas against Philly, Dak against Jalen. It's America's game of the week. The next chapter in this rivalry kicks off Sunday at 4 Eastern on Fox.
That's why you can say the Diamondbacks are ahead of schedule. I mean, they anticipated in spring training they were going to have a good team because they were going to utilize the new pitch clock and the new rules for stealing bases and the bigger bases. But a bigger part of it now is their young pitchers are getting some seasoning, right? This guy and Fought, and of course the top 2 guys have been steady and having great years. So the future is now, and it looks good for a while.
Carter bounces up this one to first for Walker, takes it to the back, 2 out. And we saw the GM Mike Hazen. And credit to Hazen, as we've said a couple times, to Hazen and the ownership group for sticking with Torey Lovullo during the low years. We've seen so many guys taken out of the job, and then when the turnaround happens, it's somebody that's inherited the work the previous guy did that gets to enjoy that. But they stuck by Torey. And Hazen said, look, when you're losing 110 games, that's not the manager's fault. That's my fault. That's a flawed roster. And he knew he had the right guy in the manager's seat.
Well, what's so amazing about their year, the problem is the longer you go and when you lose last, it hurts more, right? When you get to the World Series and lose, but nothing should take away from this unbelievable run. And they still have shown why, even if they don't come back in this game, they can come back in the series. It's just the longer you go in the season and lose, the harder and the more it hurts. You lose early, everybody forgets about you. But when you do what the Diamondbacks and the Rangers have done, man, pretty impressive.
You had to learn that the hard way a few times, didn't you?
Oh, my. And our first 8 World Series losses were all by 1 run. So that's the thing. You lose by 1, you lose by 10. Sometimes you lose by 10.
Here's a high fly ball, deep center field. Thomas going back onto the track, just enough room, and Young retired for the first time today. About a 1-2-3 inning after the back-to-back 5 spots. This is sponsored by Taco Bell. Steal a base, steal a taco is back. And by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. An historic outburst for the Rangers early in this game. Back-to-back 5-run innings and a 10-0 lead to the bottom of the fourth, giving Andrew Heaney all kinds of breathing room. His first pitch to Gabriel Moreno misses away for ball one. A 23-year-old catcher here, and Moreno has gone from completely off of the radar growing up in Venezuela to one of the best young catchers in the game, which is extra impressive when you consider the fact that he had never played catcher right up until before he was signed by Toronto. He was a middle infielder who didn't get a lot of attention. And then one of the scouts at a tryout said, have you ever thought about trying to be behind the plate? And he said, no. And he said, well, why don't we go see what it looks like? And he goes back there, makes a couple throws, and the scouts are like, oh, okay. Well, the next day he gets a call. Toronto wants to have you come go through a full workout as a catcher. He did that, signed a contract that he didn't look like he was going to get, and starts his pro career. Now, that said, a couple years into it, he hates it. And he's like, man, maybe I should have waited for somebody to give me a chance as an infielder. Takes a leadoff walk here in the fourth. He hated, the beating his body was taking. He's covered in bruises. He said, this isn't any fun. Maybe I should retire. But he sticks with it, takes off, makes it to the major leagues, and well ahead of his years at 23.
Well, all he's done is best throwing rate at stolen base attempts, shutting it down.
Walker. Shotgun ball base hit. Pass Young. Into the left field corner. Moreno is stopped at third. And Walker's got himself a double. And so giving these folks something to cheer about. Back-to-back base runners to open the fourth.
And that's all they can do. One batter at a time. It's a grind. It stinks when you're down 10-0. But look, just like a game, you can't give at-bats away. And the more you grind, the more you lock in. You've got to make it tougher for Bruce Bochy to for him to not go to the bullpen. That would be a good thing for him. But you got to make him go to the bullpen as soon as possible.
You may not erase all 10 runs, but you can affect tomorrow's game.
Yeah, for sure. The more guys you get to see, the more you make it as tough as possible on the other team. It's not fun. It's a psychological 10-0. Not many teams ever come back from that, right? But it's a World Series. You got nothing else to do but to grind out at bats.
Here's a visit from Maddox, and here's a quick message from Casamigos. So that Texas bullpen starts to work. Dane Dunning, who can also give him some length. Second and third for the Diamondbacks, and their best hitter in this World Series, Tommy Pham, comes to the plate. That takes ball one. From bench in the championship series to 7 of 13 in the World Series, Tommy Pham. Tommy's been called a baseball miracle before. There's the old adage that you can't hit what you can't see. Tommy has an eye condition that warps his corneas and distorts his vision. Regular treatment that he's got to go through, specialized contact lenses that he constantly has to change the prescription on because his eyes change shape. Left untreated, I mean, he says it looks like you're in a fun house, distorted mirrors. And yet here he is as a big league hitter with his eyes as his best tool. A baseball miracle, no doubt.
That's why he's so disciplined, and that's why he doesn't take anything for granted. He's one of the hardest working guys on the team. And
looks at this 3-1, cuts loose, 3-2. Walk from Moreno, double from Walker. And a 3-2 to Tommy Pham is taken for strike 3.
was a perfect pitch. 3-2, locked him up. It's the last pitch I think Tommy Pham thought was coming.
Heaney gets the first out. Here comes Gurriel. Taken away, ball 1. Gurriel singled his first time, and he's got a hit in 8 of his last 9 games. It's uncharacteristic yesterday, seen him chase badly a few times, just looked a little bit out of sorts in what has otherwise been an impressive postseason. 30-year-old from Cuba. Drives the ball down the line, fouled. Andrew Heaney pretty efficient so far. They're going to get whatever they could out of him, and of course the score coloring that decision. Willing to push him farther with his cushion.
Well, it is essential that they get these kind of runs driven in, right? I mean, 3-2 perfect pitch, strikeout with nobody out, but Gurriel's got to find a way to get him in and get this crowd, which is standing, in a 10-0 game.
Lifted the other way. Jankowski drifts back. Going to get one of them in. Here comes Moreno. Arizona's on the board. It's 10-1. A sacrifice fly from Lourdes Gurriel. Arizona takes advantage of the leadoff walk. First run of the day for the D-backs. Here comes Alek Thomas. Runner at third, 2 out. And ball 1. He's got a couple infield hits in this series for Thomas, who's got great wheels. And with that, Young plays in at third. The rest of the defense shifted around. Massive hole on that left side. A lot of room. Two and 0.
Yeah, the Rangers got 16 outs, and they don't care about giving up some runs. They just want to get outs. They'll trade runs for outs all day long with the big lead. And then it'll be up to Bruce to decide, okay, I can eat up most of this game with 3 pitchers now instead of.
Simeon's got it, and Arizona settles for 1 in the 4th. World Series on Fox is presented by Capital One back here in Phoenix. And take a look at our drone cam presented by T-Mobile on another gorgeous night. 70-degree temperature. Roof is open. Really comfortable night for a ball game as Nathaniel Lowe takes strike 1 from Ryan Nelson. Lowe's 1 for 2, scored 1 of the 5 runs in the 3rd. Takes high here, ball and a strike.
Nelson hasn't thrown in quite some time, so you're hoping if you're Torrey, you can get 3-4 innings, hopefully, even though he hasn't thrown in a while.
2-2 on Lowe. Down the left field line and foul. Yeah, last start for Ryan Nelson, even though he's a starter for much of the year, came on September 17th. And so any outing that he's had over the last month plus has been just spotty relief. And a fan on the field that security is going to take off the field very aggressively. Game 5 of this series is coming up tomorrow night. Same time, same place. You got the Game 1 starters lined up. Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers, Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks. And if Arizona can keep things going, they would get Merrill Kelly to the mound for Game 6. Couple all-star pitchers. Gallen started the all-star game for the National League. Fought through 5 innings in Game 1. Diamondbacks did what nobody's been able to do to Eovaldi, scoring some runs against him. You have the confidence from what they did in Game 1 when they had the lead until the 9th. So the count 2-2 on Lowe, leading off this 5th. Nelson fires. Lowe sends one in the air to center field. Thomas into the gap, gets there. One away. Let's check in with Ken Rosenthal.
Well, Joe, Nelson was mostly a reliever at Oregon, but the Diamondbacks still took him 56th overall in the 2019 draft. As you mentioned, he also played infield his first 2 years of college. And as a converted position player coming out of the draft, he lacked an overall feel for pitching. But the Diamondbacks loved his spin rates. They were off the charts. And they had 9 of the top 93 picks that year in 2019. So they could take a chance. Now that 2019 draft, that was transformative for the Diamondbacks. Corbin Carroll was their first rounder at number 16. 6 other players from that draft for the Diamondbacks have reached the majors, including Dominic Canzone. He's the outfielder they traded to the Mariners for Paul Sewald.
And Kenny, for Ryan Nelson, his career as a position player ended because he has the same eye condition we mentioned that Tommy Pham has, which is crazy that there's 2 guys on the same team in the major leagues that have this rare condition. And for Nelson, he says it's probably a blessing in disguise that he didn't think he'd be here had he not had that, had he not basically been forced into focusing just on pitching. He had such a hard time seeing it at the plate. Ball and 2 strikes on the Texas catcher Jonah Heim. Outside corner to get him. 2 away. Nelson's retired all 5 that he's faced since the Rangers got back-to-back 5-run innings in the 2nd and the 3rd. The 10 2-out runs that they've scored are the 2nd most in a World Series game all time. 2007, Red Sox had 11 in Game 1. And still ways to go in this game for the Rangers to threaten that record. Leody Taveras at 2 away, golfs his curve into shallow left field. Out goes Rivera, making the call and the catch, and 6 up, 6 down for Nelson, steadying things here. Customize your home feed with your favorite postseason team. Watch daily recaps, get personalized stats, highlights, and more on the MLB app. Download it today. Andrew Heaney into the 5th inning for the first time in this postseason. 8-9-1 for the Diamondbacks in the 5th. Strike 1 and Emmanuel Rivera, who has earned his first start of the World Series with what he's done off of the bench first few games, reaching all 3 times that he's come up. Evan Longoria had been slumping and has struggled against Heaney in his career, so we'll change here with Rivera starting. Grounds on left side, cut off by Young. The first out of the 5th.
Well, one of the things that you don't normally see, the release point and then the height of which he delivers the ball. Now, Heaney is not a smaller guy, but he drops down and then he throws the ball from about a 5-foot release point from the ground. So he pitches smaller than he is. It creates an illusion and gives the hitter a little bit of a different look. And when he's going good, he does that. He kind of backdoors his breaking ball, throws his fastball in, they'll fade his changeup. And right now, with a 9-run lead, he can do whatever he wants.
Gerardo Perdomo with 1 away, takes outside. We've seen some guys try to maximize their extension, obviously to get closer to home plate, but also to get that kind of lower release point. Fastballs tend to play up. Spencer Strider's the guy that comes to mind on that, releases it that unique low slot.
Yeah, you have short striding pitchers and long striding pitchers, and the long striding pitchers are going to get downhill, be more over the top. The shorter striding pitchers can have a tendency to do exactly that and have that, I call it upshoot, or, you know, version of their release point.
Andrew Heaney was a first-round draft pick 11 years ago. The Marlins got to the majors when he was 23. And then he went to the Angels for parts of 7 seasons, to the Yankees, to the Dodgers, and in his first year in Texas. Here's a payoff pitch to Perdomo. And that's ball 4.
Well, being in a game like this, the next day starting pitchers, we got 2 totally different feelings. Of course, Zach Gallen is on the 10-1 losing end, and he's seeing all these offense, and he's trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do to change the narrative for tomorrow? And on the flip side, you've got Eovaldi, who's just enjoying the heck out of it, knowing he's potentially going to be pitching in a 3-1 series lead.
Just save me some runs, guys.
Yeah.
Don't waste them all tonight. Strikeout Marte.
It's not obviously overstating not fun as the pitcher looking at 10 runs against. You're already in your mind thinking, all right, I got to slow this offense down. I got to come out and throw punches early.
That's bounced to first. Lowe goes up to get it. His only play is at first. And Marte's on number 2. The second goes Perdomo. And to the plate comes Corbin Carroll. So Andrew Heaney trying to get through 5 innings and facing Carroll, who is 0 for 2 in this game. We're talking about him right off of the top. He's not the only reason the Diamondbacks win or lose, but there's a massive difference in what he does in the wins versus the losses. Fouls this one off.
And when he's going good, that elbow is the mechanism that keeps the bat short, but through the zone. When he's got movement, his swing gets too long.
Back to Heaney. Andrew Heaney with 5 innings, holding the Diamondbacks to 1 run. It is a 10-1 game. Rangers trying to get to within a game of their first World Championship. Partners stand up to cancer and reaffirming a commitment to the fight against cancer. Major League Baseball, its fans, players, and coaches are united in our determination to defeat this disease for our friends, our families, and our communities. Please stand together with Major League Baseball, MasterCard, Fox, and the entire baseball family in support of all those this disease has touched. For more information and to find out how you can help, go to standuptocancer.org. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. MasterCard has proudly supported Stand Up to Cancer since 2010. With the help of their cardholders, they've donated over $70 million to help fund groundbreaking cancer research. As individuals, we're powerful, but never as powerful as we are when we come together. The strength of us is priceless.
think it's very vital to rock around. That's right. On time. It's tricky. It's uptight. Here we go. It's tricky to rock around. To rock around. That's right. On time. It's tricky. It's tricky. 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 It's tricky to rock around.
10 runs in the bank for these Texas Rangers. 9-1-2 coming up in this inning. That means another at-bat for Corey Seager, and time for our rewarding performance, sponsored by Capital One. Seager with another home run tonight. 4 in his last 5 games, and the first shortstop to hit 3 home runs in a single World Series. Now, there really are, if you boil this series down, 2 big reasons why the Rangers have a 2-1 lead. It's Corey Seager's home runs, it's the bullpen with 2 huge games, and here in Game 4, Marcus Semien has joined in on the fun. He's already knocked in 5. So the numbers over the last 2 games since this series has shifted here to Phoenix. And those are the 2 guys they signed up to lead him back. That's a ball on Travis Jankowski.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen most of the games, and the one constant's been Seager, but boy, the uptick in Semien's been perfect timing for Texas, right? Because the numbers just speak on what the top of the order has done for Texas, but it's really been the length of their batting lineup that has overwhelmed teams this year.
And remember, they are 2 years removed from losing 102 games. And then in November of 2021 came the day that the Rangers started the climb to this moment, to this stage. And in a 24-hour span, they signed Marcus Semien to a 7-year deal, Corey Seager to a 10-year deal, and injected some hope back into the team. 2 years later, 2 wins from a championship. Jankowski on 3-1, grounds it to second for Marte. On in the 6th.
We talked about what teams were doing against Semien. They were really pounding him away, and he was struggling in those first 15 games. You see the power numbers. He's such a power hitting second baseman, and then they've made some mistakes, and he has made him pay in these last 2 games.
Moreno's got just enough room there. And here comes Seager. Home runs in 4 of his last 5 games, going back to the first inning shot in Game 7 in the championship series.
He sees it in the zone. He's swinging. It doesn't matter the pitch. If it's in the area he likes, he's going to let it go. No matter what the count, really. Baltimore took the bat out of his hands, walked him 11 times in that 3-game series.
Ball and a strike on Seager. Own the postseason, sponsored by Charles Schwab, and it is the perfect guy to talk about when you're talking about owning the postseason. On the road, he's hitting .351, helping lead the Rangers to this 9-0 record that they're on the verge of pushing to a record 10-0.
It's just amazing, because when those 11 walks, we were sitting there going, this is the most unlikely guy to set that record. And what it did is it kind of indirectly got him in a funk. He went into pop-up mode against Houston, and then took 1 top of the zone homer, and he's been unlocked ever since.
Chase is up here. That is back-to-back Ks against him for Nelson. From Austin at 10 a.m. Eastern, followed by a big noon Saturday matchup between Texas and K-State, and then Penn State and Maryland, all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. So the bullpen finally gets to work for the Texas Rangers after 5 innings from Andrew Heaney. Dane Dunning takes over and delivers a strike to Gabriel Moreno. We talk about Texas's bullpen being an issue throughout the season. It is not the same group as we're seeing now. This group is filled with guys that had stretches of excellence as starters during the regular season.
Yeah, and he's a strike thrower, kind of the opposite of the opposite arm of the way he pitches, like Heaney, where he's going to mix and match, spin it, and just take a little bit off. There's not a exploding fastball in there. There's just a pitchability and the ability to make pitches on both sides of the plate.
Dunning's 1-2 pitch. You won a spot in the bullpen in spring training. He was in the rotation in May when Jacob deGrom went down. And there have been some times this year where he's been the only thing holding it all together in that rotation. As they got healthy down the stretch, though, moved into the bullpen, and that's where he's worked in this postseason. That said, Bruce Bochy said that he's the MVP of the pitching staff this year.
Yeah, he's basically done everything, right? Filled in where he's needed to, been patient, comes in the game.
Soft bounce to the third for Young. Yeah, now Christian Walker doubled for the second consecutive game his last time. Dunning comes home. And strike one.
Well, the one thing looking ahead that we've seen the Diamondbacks do when they have been up against it, they seem to get more aggressive and put more pressure and steal more bases. Well, they're going to be up against it. This is not a game they can steal bases. But looking ahead to tomorrow, that's got to be their game plan. They did it the last 2 games against Philadelphia, stole 8 bases, created pressure. And there you see in the wins what they did and in the losses.
Got to get that guy on base just once in the 2 games here in Phoenix. Dunning's 2-1. Walker offers 2-2. Ken Dunning, 28 years old, out of Florida originally. Made his debut with the Chicago White Sox and then came to the Rangers in the Lance Lynn deal a few years back. It's 2-2. Outside. Counts full. Off the end of the bat, shallow right field, sinking down for a base hit for Walker. Second hit of the day for Walker, and how did we get here? Back-to-back 5-run innings for the Texas Rangers in the second and the third, all 10 runs with 2 outs.
I'm telling you, it started so innocently. 2 outs and a wild pitch, right? I mean, that's how quickly this big offense can strike, and they did it with 2 outs, which is doubly tough on the opposing team.
Big old bounce to left side. It's going to be a tough play for Young. Barehand pickup, made it close, but an infield hit for Tommy Pham. So a couple base runners here for the D-backs, and we check in with Tom Verducci.
Yeah, it was interesting talking to Torey Lovullo today. He mentioned the base running mistake last night by Christian Walker. He felt the energy came out of his team after that one mistake. Tonight, 2 critical mistakes. Yes, the wild pitch. A 2-strike, 2-out wild pitch. Those are just daggers. And then the fielding error by Christian Walker. In both cases, 5 runs follow.
That just rarely happens, right? I mean, that's the nature of the postseason. Everything's magnified. Everything's bigger.
2 outs and then 2 gifts.
Well, it sounds like a broken record. You got to approach the postseason like you're pitching in Colorado. It's hard to get 3 clean outs. It's hard to get through an inning, and you've got to do that, and you got to pay attention to the details, because it can turn like that, and it really turns because do you think at any point in the regular season the crowd's going to be standing in a game like this? There's no way. They know the importance. They know the playoffs, and so they rise to the occasion as well.
Ground ball to short for Seager. The second for 1, on to first, double play. And this little bit of noise that was mounting is doused. We're back after a word from your local Fox station. T-Mobile. Some beautiful shots from that T-Mobile drone cam here at Chase Field, all lit up for the World Series for the first time in 22 years. Mitch Garver starts the 7th for the Rangers, leading game 4 10-1, and a ball from Ryan Nelson, who's been a silver lining to this game for the Diamondbacks. 9 up, 9 down.
He is saving their pen big time.
All right. Diamondbacks got to be thinking, man, couldn't have you shown us a little more of this in the regular season to give us a 4th starter we could trust? And you may be looking at this as a Diamondbacks fan and saying, well, why did we go with a bullpen game? Well, given what they had seen from Nelson to this point, it was pretty simple. It was the choice between Nelson, who had a 6 ERA as a 4th starter, or another 4-starter option, equally as good, or what's been one of the best bullpens in baseball the last couple months. And it was easy for them to look and see between those options what they felt gave them their best path to a win in game 4. It has not worked. It worked in game 4 of the championship series. And just given the construction of this roster and given how baseball is currently, there are more staffs that are like this than aren't. This is what they wound up with. Tonight it didn't work.
No, and that's the risk of a game like this. You got to have everybody on their A game. He's been on his A game. There's nothing but zeros there and 4 strikeouts. But if you're looking forward, you know, and what the Arizona Diamondbacks have, they have 3 really, really good pitchers going for them. Obviously, you got to win all the games. But the unknown factor is game 7 for the Rangers. The Rangers have their 2 studs going, but then they really don't have a pitcher for game 7. Might be John Gray, because it's not going to be Scherzer. So it's possible when you have the ability to flip the script down 3-1. But you like Texas' position for sure.
Evan Carter here bounces one back to Nelson, and the old infielder shows off some of that athleticism there. Not that you pitchers can't do that, but that was a particularly nice play. 2 out. Yeah, the longer the series goes, you know, if they're able to push it to game 7, it does feel like it swings back in their favor when it's fought against essentially a bullpen game for Texas. Bradford loosens, but a lot of work to do to get it there. Been a good day for Josh Young. 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, including the first of those 10 runs, racing home on the wild pitch. You pointed out at the time the only way you score on that ball that just kicked away a few feet is if you are on your toes, ready to spring forward.
Good looking player for Texas for a long time.
What's the comp you made the other day?
I'm thinking, well, Scott Rowland-ish,
yeah.
you know, bigger third baseman, very, very agile, good defender, some pop at the plate.
Grounds one through. He's got his 3rd hit. 3 hits over the first 3 games. 3 hits in game 4 for Josh Young. On 9 hits total for this offense now. They'd scored 10 runs over the first 3 games. They've got 10 tonight. Almost more surprising than seeing him explode for 10 here is that they only had 4 the last 2. Just how explosive this group has been. Low lines to left ends the top of the 7th, and we stretch in game 4. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Round out your protection with life, phone, and pet health insurance. Back at Chase Field here in Phoenix. A couple 5-run innings for the Rangers in this game, and a 10-1 lead to the bottom of the 7th. Yeah, we talked about the bullpen being a concern for the Rangers a lot of this season. Into this World Series, the pen right there with Corey Seager. The biggest reasons they are on the verge of a 3-1 series lead.
John Gray, man, they didn't know what they were going to get when this postseason started. Maybe an inning at a time. He wasn't on the first round. And he has been the reason, along with obviously that offense.
Cody Bradford comes in. He pitched a scoreless inning in game 1. The rookie spent a lot of the season in AAA as a starting pitcher. Has come up here to the majors in relief. Impressed Bruce Bochy. This is 1-1 to Alec Thomas. Swung on and missed.
Bradford has that great release point downhill and a good changeup. What they like that he can get into right-handers fairly easy. And they love his makeup. He's got a slow motor. Heartbeat.
25 years old from Aledo, Texas.
I'm good. Yeah.
Baylor Bear down in Waco. We watch out playing the Thomas playing the WBC here with Team Mexico.
He had some great at bats down there too. They put forth some big hits. Look, I got to give it to this Arizona crowd, man. They have stuck in here and they are cheering their team on in a 10-1 game. Hardly anybody has left. It's impressive.
Check swing and a ball away, and it's like anytime they've had even a base runner, they come to their feet, trying to will them forward. The Pirelli cap's on, and the costume's on.
It's just been like, whenever you have a team like this that grows as the season goes on, the fans become amazed, and they follow this run, right? And just talking to people around this town, they're like, can you believe the Diamondbacks? What a story, what a run. And they're sticking with them.
Hadn't been to the playoffs in 6 seasons, 110 losses 2 years ago.
And on the flip side, Ranger fans have been waiting a long time for the first championship.
Waited forever. Over 60 years, the franchise. Boy, nobody's safe back there right now.
Yeah, let me brush the plate off here.
Oh, man. Established in 1961 as the Washington Senators, and then went to Texas in 1972. So they launched as the Rangers. They're one of 6 teams without a world championship. After a long duel, he's down on strikes, 1 gone in the 7th. We got some celebrities in the house. Dumb and Dumber have made it. Joe Dirt. Randy Macho Man Savage. Corbin Carroll is here twice. And the mascot dressed up as Buzz Lightyear. Or is that just a person dressed up as the mascot inside a Buzz Lightyear costume? Fly ball to right off of the bat of Rivera. The Jankowski flags down. What was your best Halloween costume that you ever pulled off?
You know, I wasn't much into it as a kid. We had, you know, growing up in Michigan, we had a couple different nights that would take place around Halloween. But I do remember my dad sitting on the porch in a gorilla outfit and not move until somebody came up on the porch.
It's terrifying. Yeah, it all makes so much sense now where you got your slapstick sense of humor from.
Yeah, no doubt.
2 out in the 7th for Perdomo. I joke that everybody in Michigan dresses up the same. We all dress up like we're going skiing. It doesn't matter what you are for Halloween. You got your winter coat on.
Yeah.
We go out to trick or treat. Don't have that problem here. Perdomo back of first. Simeon on a dead sprint towards the line and nearly a collision. There was, and somehow that ball was caught. Wow, Travis Jankowski sliding underneath Marcus Semien, who winces a little bit. You hope that everybody's okay. What a day this guy's having. A surprise addition to the lineup with Garcia out. He's got a couple hits and then this tremendous play. MLB Together is baseball's new platform, embodying the sports philanthropic contributions and mental wellness efforts by teams, players, and the league. Go to MLBtogether.com to learn more. Ryan Nelson stays in. He's given up just one base runner over 4 scoreless innings. Bottom of the Texas lineup here. Jonah Heim leading off.
Yeah, he's been unreal, really, in a game that got out of hand. In a game that Torey Lovullo needed somebody to step up and carry the innings, and he has.
Heim is 0 for 3. Still looking for that first hit of this World Series. 0 for 12. Fly ball to deep right field. Jonah Heim's first hit of the World Series is a home run. And it's 11-1 Texas. Third of the postseason for Heim. And Leclerc got it. Give that ball to Jonah. Nice keepsake. Leody Taveras looks at a ball. So the third home run of this game for the Rangers, out homering Arizona in this series 7-2. Tonight a 3-run home run for Marcus Semien, a 2-run home run from Corey Seager, who's got 3 2-run home runs in this World Series, and both home runs for the Diamondbacks have been solo shots. One of the big gaps in this series.
You know that felt good, even though, you know, the score is in big time favor. That we mentioned what the catchers hadn't been able to do so far for both teams. That sound never gets old for a hitter, and when you're searching and trying to get results, feels good.
And for this whole offense, which has set a Texas record for most runs in a postseason game. And the Rangers have set a postseason record, all teams, consecutive games with at least 1 home run. I feel like every few innings we're talking about a record that somebody's setting. Bounce up the middle. Taveras is the first out. Now, earlier this year, MasterCard invited you to order online or tap in-store grocery stores and restaurants. And thanks to all of you, MasterCard is presenting a generous $5 million donation to Stand Up to Cancer. 1 gone 8th inning. Travis Jankowski to the plate. Living a dream tonight. From thinking he's probably not going to play in this World Series, hoping to have a ring just along for the ride, to probably going to be in there every day. With Garcia finished with the oblique injury. First 2 times up, base hits both times, scored both times, drove in 2. And then a great defensive play last inning.
Oh, sure was. And remember, he got robbed of a home run in Houston by Tucker.
All right.
I can't believe he's the one that ended up catching this. From our view, that's a better angle, but and that Semien didn't get hurt. That was clutch.
It's outside.
Fifth inning of work here for Nelson, who's home with a 2-2. It's in on Jankowski. Nelson's got it. Fades away and throws him out. Down to Tom Verducci.
At this time of year, we should always be careful about comparing anyone to Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. But in this case, the symmetry is too delicious to ignore. Corey Seager playing in career postseason game number 77. Same number of RBIs. One more home run with that home run tonight. Although Reggie, I'm sure, would remind me he has more World Series home runs. And keep this in mind when it comes to symmetry. Reggie Jackson is the only position player to win multiple MVP awards in the World Series. Of course, Corey Seager already has one.
2020 with the Dodgers. The only two other guys that have done it, pitchers, Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson.
There's an airplane competition coming from the upper deck.
Yeah,
there's a ton of paper airplanes. Some make it out to the field, and some are not quite making it.
In fact, I believe we just had our first official minor paper airplane delay. We had an announcement from the PA.
It's outside.
Let him have some fun.
Yeah, right. Simeon.
Well, the Rangers are having fun because on the road this postseason, this is staggering. 66-23, they have outscored their opponents
in 10 road games. It's amazing by itself, but again, I just keep going back to how it began. It began with them failing miserably on the road, blowing the division on the road over the final week of the regular season. And then they have found it, and it's become one of the big stories of this postseason run. Jonah Heim's first home run, or first hit of the World Series is a home run. It's 11-1 Texas here in Game 4. And we're going to get a look at Brock Burke here. And an 11-1 game. Boy, you talk about a soft landing for the guy that you just activated. Top of the order for the Diamondbacks. Ketel Marte taking ball one from Burke, who pitched in the Division Series 1 game but hasn't been on the roster since. Activated with Scherzer taken off. And there's Ezekiel Duran. You saw his numbers. Pretty good. Brock Burke, 27 years old, from Chicago. Was born there, but high school in Evergreen, Colorado. His third year with time in the big leagues. Oh, look out. Almost hit one of those paper airplanes. There's actually a couple of them stuck in the netting. I bet you were good at making paper airplanes, weren't you?
Yeah, I like making paper airplanes. A little art to it. Now, I wasn't good at art, though. I couldn't draw.
Well, there's different forms of it. Marte's extended his hitting streak. First guy in postseason history to have a 20-game hitting streak. 2 out of 3. On a 2-2 from Burke. Goes out to get it, sends it in the air to center field. Taveras drifting back, shy of the track. He's got it. And now a quick word from FanDuel.
FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
At 0 for 3 tonight. Carroll just 3 out of 16 in this World Series. First round draft pick 2019 at a Lakeside school in Seattle. Second most famous guy out of there, behind Bill Gates.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Allen also went there, so checking a third. That's a base hit into left center field for Carroll. He makes the turn and hangs on. He's got a huge contract that he signed, more than $100 million, and that still ranks him third. Those guys.
Well, again, insignificant will not be that hit, and you never know how it gets a guy going, and that's a good feeling. Even in an 11-1 game, it might translate into tomorrow. Touching first base, getting some positive.
Moreno's looking for the same, 1 for 15. One ball, one strike. Diamondbacks were down 2 games in the championship series, came back to win it. There's going to be 0 room for air left after tonight, though. Got their guys lined up. Zach Gallen takes the ball tomorrow. Merrill Kelly if they get it to a game 6. And then Brandon Pfaadt, who has put himself right into the same breath as those 2 guys for somebody they feel good about. If they can get it to game 7. There's Moreno over Seager with a base hit into left center field. And so Carroll and Moreno, both 2 of the struggling Arizona hitters, come up with hits here in the 8th.
Talked with Torrey and just asked if he gives simple messages, and he feeds off the narrative. Stay hungry, stay humble, know who you are, and just learn from all the things that have gone on, right? And they'll learn from this, and tomorrow they will come out stingy and ready to go.
Underestimated, given up on at just about every turn this year. Their 7-25 stretch midsummer where they fell out of first place, fell out of the playoff picture. And it's going to be Gallen and Eovaldi for game 5 tomorrow. Nathan Eovaldi, big game Nate. He's going to have a chance to pitch the Rangers to their first World Championship. Christian Walker came into the game with 2 hits in this World Series. He's got 2 of them tonight. And he takes a ball from Burke. Guy's got more hits than anybody ever at the College World Series. Christian Walker up there with South Carolina. 3 title games with South Carolina. Won it all twice. Included 1 year where he broke his hand. Doctors told him there's no way you can play, but he said, tape it up, I'm going. And so black and blue and swollen and bruised. Went out there, still played in the championship game. Still got a hit. Tense and tough. Christian Walker on 2-0. Rips a base hit to left. His 3rd of the game. Station to station they go. And a 10-run game. No reason to push the envelope. Bases loaded up here in the 8th. And these amazing fans are doing it again as Bruce Bochy makes the walk. Chris Stratton's going to come into this game. Arizona's loaded the bases in the 8th. All right, so it's going to take a miracle for this to happen, but like Ron Burgundy, I just read what they put in the monitor. If tonight's game ends in a walk-off, Capital One's going to donate $1,000 to the Jackie Robinson Foundation as part of the Capital One walk-off program, and to date they've donated more than $750 grand to the foundation to support its programs and initiatives. Tommy Pham takes ball 1 from Chris Stratton. Arizona's loaded the bases here in the 8th. Stratton comes on to pitch.
He made a really good first pitch, but didn't get the call.
(1-0) to Pham. Stratton came over in the same deal that brought Jordan Montgomery from St. Louis at the deadline. Was pretty good at first, but fell out of favor as the regular season wore on and has not been used much in this postseason. Bases juice, 1-1 pitch. Pham swings and misses. Disappearing changeup from Stratton.
Bottom fell out of it. His fastball is only about 93 miles an hour, but the hitters only hit 188 off of it, so it's sneaky. And you follow that with that changeup.
3 straight singles to Chase Burke. Load him up. Now 1-2 pitch to Pham. Down and away. Tommy Pham's continued his excellent World Series tonight, going 1 for 3. He's got 8 hits. 8 out of 16. Fouls it off and stays alive. .35 years old in his 10th big league season. Tommy Pham playing in his first World Series. On another 2-2 from Stratton, he fouls back a fastball. 7 different teams, 4 of them in the last year and a half. From Cincy to Boston to the Mets. And Arizona got him just minutes before the deadline this year. Tortorella said that he has made them a better team. Because of all the intangibles that he's brought, the toughness and the edge.
Well, the goal now for Arizona is get one of those higher leverage pitchers in the game for Texas. And if you can keep the merry-go-round going here, you might see that.
Count goes full. Always disciplined. Pham has run it deep. He'd love to go deep. Put a jolt into this place. That deserves to have a jolt sent through it. On 3-2, Pham fouls it down the line, and we'll do it again. Another payoff. Pham shoots it to right field, right at Jankowski. Carroll's going to come in to score, and it's 11-2. Sacrifice fly for Pham. And now Gurriel knocked in their first run of the game with a sac fly back in the 4th. First and third, 2 out. One of their key pieces they got in a trade this winter. Same deal that brought over Gabby Moreno from Toronto. Career high 24 home runs in his first season with the Diamondbacks. An all-star for the first time. Gurriel hits this ball hard, deep left field. It is gone. Well, this place has been waiting 2 days to explode, and Gurriel gives them a reason to here. It's 11-5 in the 8th. Alec Thomas, strike from Stratton.
I'm telling you, this crowd, they may not get a win out of this, but it's amazing. Stuck with their team.
Florida Scurriel. Pretty business-like group, but he has a great personality. Just take a look at the hair. They love having this guy around. The fans love him too. Halloween or any day. They like to dress up like Lourdes. Big bouncer. Seager waits on it. Chucks it to first and gets Thomas. 4-run score for the Diamondbacks in this 8th inning. The big swing from that man, Lourdes Scurriel, with his 3rd home run of the postseason. To the 9th we go in Game 5. Joe Davis, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal, Tom Verducci, and the man that has seized the moment again in the postseason, Corey Seager. Home run in 4 of the last 5 games after he went deep in the 2nd inning tonight. Launches this ball to right center field, splitting the gap once more, bounces into the seats, and he's got a double.
Well, that guy right there, they may not have a winner tonight, but this is a winner in a celebration, Joe. He gets the homer. He's happy. And then it is.
Oh, so good. You know, they've been saying, hey, if we get a home run, we're doing this. And then
he gets the ball.
What a night. Pinch run for Seager. Smith is on to run for him as Mitch Garver comes to the plate. Yeah, a strike from Ryan Nelson. Arizona down 11-5 to this Texas Rangers offense that even without Adolis Garcia has scored 11 runs on 11 hits. 5 in the 2nd, 5 in the 3rd. First time in World Series history a team's gotten back-to-back 5-run innings.
Tomorrow there's going to be a lot of talk in the strategy, and every team, they go over a hitters meeting, they go over the pitchers with the catchers. They're going to talk strictly about Seager tomorrow on the other side, and I'd be shocked if they're attacking him tomorrow like they did today.
Yeah.
Garbage down on strikes, 1 away. Silver lining to this game for Arizona is what Ryan Nelson has done for Torey Lovullo. 5 1/3 after Manaply, Castro, Kyle Nelson, and Frias gave up 10 runs. Nelson comes on and gives up just 1. With 1 away in the top of the 9th, it's Andrew Saalfrank. On to face Evan Carter. And hits him on the hand. Carter's going to get first, but that's not what Texas is worried about. They're worried about his hand. All those little bones in there.
It sounds like he got some of the bat.
So a lot of the bat,
and he gets his pinky. Yeah, got both.
The injury bug has bit them throughout this season, and it's biting them a little bit here in this World Series. Losing Scherzer, losing Garcia. Had Josh Spores last night. His hamstring was bugging him. He's good to go, but that was another scare. And on this here with Carter. Looks like he's all right, though. Time for a replay review sponsored by Zoom. Tori Lavello wants him to take a peek.
Well, you could hear the sound, and I'm sure Tori heard the same thing. So. But it definitely looked like it caught the pinky. Yeah, it hit the hand and then went right to the bat, the knob of the bat. See that pinky get jarred.
Well, I think they just gave the call that it's going to at least stand, but the mic wasn't turned on for Bill Miller there. So just have to read between the lines and see that he's still on base. Call stands. Carter reaches. And Josh Young already 3 hits in tow.
Yeah, he's looked great tonight. I mean, he's been totally in balance in all of his swings.
Bouncer for Domo. Second one. First 2. And a double play induced by Sawfrank there. To the bottom of the 9th we go. Can't get enough looks at this. Watch this form. Full extension. Got it. 10 out of 10. Everybody dressed up for Halloween. 11-5 to the bottom of the 9th inning we go. Last chance here for the Diamondbacks. And it looks like we're going to get a pitching change. Chris Stratton had warmed up. Pavin Smith was announced as a pinch hitter for Manuel Rivera, and Bruce Bochy's going to counter it. Will Smith coming in, looking for the last 3 outs. Jordan Lawler up there to pinch hit. Will Smith on to try and finish this game off for the Texas Rangers. 2 wins away from becoming the first player in baseball history to win 3 consecutive rings with 3 different teams. Braves, then Astros, and now with the Rangers. All right, so here's Lawler. Just 21 years of age, 6th overall pick 2 years ago. Made it to the big leagues in September. And has had 1 plate appearance in this postseason, back in the division series. No balls and 2 strikes. Josh Smith after pinch running for Corey Seager in the game at short. Well, Smith coming in, it makes it 6 pitchers on both sides in these dueling bullpen games. Much different breakdown, though, among those 6. Andrew Heaney went the first 5 innings for the Rangers, and they've pieced it together from there. And on the other side, the Diamondbacks had the revolving door over the first few innings. They've given up 10 over the first 3 innings between 4 pitchers. And they got the bulk on the back end with Nelson.
Yeah, they had to abort. When you think about 2 games here, the Rangers have only scored in 4 innings. 4 innings, but they were 2 huge back-to-back innings that broke this game open.
Check swing foul. Mentioned it then, but worth mentioning again. This entire postseason prior to tonight, all the teams had combined to have 2 5-run innings, and then back-to-back 5-run innings for the Rangers. Another 1-2 is very high. 8-9-1 for the Diamondbacks in this 9th inning after they scored 4 runs in the 8th to inspire a glimmer of hope and his fans that have been so good, so supportive, getting treated to a chance to cheer a little bit. Lawler's worked the count full, Jim. .21-year-old, just 2 walks in his 14 big league games in September. But he's got one here to start the 9th.
Again, small victory in this inning is the only thing you can do is at bat and pass the baton. But you want to get back in their pen again. You want to see another reliever, which means Will Smith has to face at least 3 batters, right? And then after that, if he hasn't already got out in the game, Bruce Bochy will have to think about getting somebody hot.
Here's Geraldo Perdomo. Last chance to extend a 7-game hitting streak. Takes one down the pipe for a strike. After Perdomo, to the top of the order with Marte. Floated to right center field. That's a base hit, and the first 2 have reached. Lawler streaking to third, and they've got him cornered with nobody out. Hitting streak is at 8 games for Perdomo. The top of the order is coming up.
You figure only 2 more batters for Will Smith, and then more than likely you will see another reliever for the Rangers.
Just now starting to get some stirring down in that bullpen, and it is Jose Leclerc. Why mess around? And I know that this is a bummer for Texas, considering you got tomorrow. You'd love to have him fully fresh. Well, they're not going to take any chances.
But that's what I'm talking about. What would be a win for Arizona, even if they don't win the game. If they could force Leclerc in the game, that's just another look they get at him. And obviously, the more looks, the better it gets, and certainly puts him as
they already used him yesterday.
That's what I'm saying.
So you'd be looking at 3 days in a row tomorrow. Marte's continued his tremendous postseason with another 2 hits tonight in an 0-2 hole here, and now down on strikes.
The signature pitch for Will Smith is this breaking ball. It comes out, you see those seams, and there's the break back foot.
Carroll got his first hit in a couple games his last time. He's knocked in 4 in this World Series. 10 in the postseason total.
Kind of surprised Perdomo is still staying at first base. I mean, they're really not holding him on, even though he's behind him.
Get to second, stay out of the double play. Carroll running. Diamondbacks trying to make some more noise here in the 9th after they got 4 runs in the 8th. Carroll on 1-1. There goes Perdomo. He'll take it without a throw. 1 ball, 2 strikes. First stolen base in the 2 games here for Arizona. Smith home with a 1-2. And a bouncing ball foul will do it again. Zach Gallen goes for Arizona tomorrow against Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers in a rematch of Game 1. Second and third, 1 gone. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Carroll's down swinging. Back-to-back Ks against the top of the order for Smith.
Well, he threw a fastball by him. That was a much longer swing. Talked about that short, compact to the ball.
Needing just one out. Is Bruce Bochy going to go to him anyways, it looks like. Huh. Yeah, leading by 6. Bochy's going to bring his closer into the game. T-Mobile, and Bruce Bochy not messing around here, bringing on his closer with 2 gone in the 9th.
You know, part of that is he doesn't want any more D-backs to feel good about getting some hits and getting any more runs. So he's going to bring in his guy, get the 1 out, trust that he'll make the pitches he needs. And it's kind of like you're sitting on the other side and the D-backs are starting to score some runs. I think Bruce Bochy just said, you know what, that's it.
And he'd already gotten him warm. So he brings him in to face Moreno, who got his first hit since his home run that started game 2 his last time up, and he takes ball 1 from Leclerc. He got the save yesterday. Potentially, they're going to need him for a 3rd consecutive game tomorrow. On this 1-0 pitch, Moreno takes ball 2.
The amazing thing about a Leclerc, as good as he can be, he doesn't throw a lot of first pitch strikes and puts a lot of pressure on his slider that he throws, which is really, really good. But hitters counts.
Yeah, first pitch strikes, and a lot of times a hitter or 2 before he really dials in overall. You see some traffic against him. That wasn't the case last night when he had a 1-2-3 ninth. His 2-1 here is lifted foul, and the D-backs are down to their last strike. Ground ball, base hit center field. Moreno drives in 2 against Leclerc. It's 11-7 as they've scored 6 in a row.
He gets that slider and does a great job hitting it up the middle. And don't think the Diamondbacks aren't going to feed off of this ability to grind out and get 7 runs on the board. Now they're a couple hitters away from tying run at the plate.
Walker's up there. He's got 3 hits today and chases the first one. Would you believe that the Diamondbacks have more hits than the Rangers do now?
It's really been kind of the way the series has gone. Big explosive innings, grind out at bats for the Diamondbacks.
And again, down to their last strike. Yeah, it's another case where they're out hitting them, but Texas out home run them in this game. In those big innings, 5 in the 2nd, 5 in the 3rd. At this point, still enough. Leclerc's 0-2. Leclerc's 1-2. Taken high. Count evens 2 balls and 2 strikes. Four in the 8th. 2 more here in the 9th. And a 2-2 pitch to Christian Walker. Hot fly, foul ground. That is caught by Lowe, and that does it for game 4. An explosion for the Rangers. A couple of 5-run innings And the Texas Rangers are 1 win away from their first World Championship.
It's how they flex their muscles offensively. They've been one of the best offensive baseball teams all year. Sometimes they disappear, but when they show up, and man, look at those numbers on the road, scoring first. That is, every time I think I'll never see something again, we throw up stats like that.
Yeah, it's the only time this has ever happened that a team has gone 10-0 on the road in the postseason. Andrew Heaney in these dueling bullpen games. It ultimately saw the Rangers use more pitchers than the Diamondbacks did. Heaney was the star of the show. 5 innings, gives up just 1. Yeah, he is the winning pitcher here in Game 4. And trying to keep this fact going while Arizona will try to do something that's not been done since 2016. That is come back from down 3-1. It's happened 6 times in World Series history. The last time being the Cubs coming back against Cleveland. And Bruce Bochy 1 win away from a ring in his first year back.